Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Technical Difficulties. I am Dwayne Burke, and today we're going to be talking about all of the things that you need to really stream. Not the stuff that you think you need, not the stuff that you heard you need, but the stuff that you actually need to get a stream off the ground. I'm sorry, my glasses are really foggy. Give me 1 second. I was looking for my lint-free cloth, but I could not find it. So the way I'm gonna set this or split this up is I'm gonna split it up into your. Maybe I shouldn't have labeled these categories like this. You know what? I'm just gonna get into it. First things first. The only thing that you need to stream is honestly something to stream on. That's it. That's all you need. Now, it sounds a little too simple, but it's really not. I have friends, and I bet you have friends, that stream on Twitch right now using nothing but their Xbox or their PlayStation. They don't have a camera, they don't have a microphone, they don't have a fancy computer. All they have is a PlayStation or an Xbox. That's all you need. If all you have is your phone, you can stream live to YouTube, and I believe technically live to Twitch with just your phone. You don't need all of this fancy equipment. Will this help your production value? Maybe make yours up your stream quality? Yes. But do you need any of this stuff? No. All you need to actually start streaming is the desire to stream and a machine to stream with. That's it. That's all you need. But I know that that's not what you want out of this video or out of the show. You want some actual information that you can use. So I'm going to go to, if you want the basic stream with yourself on camera and some gameplay. All right. So we're going to go a little bit more than just streaming on your PlayStation on to Twitch. All right. Which you actually can do, So let's get into the first category, which I'm going to call your must-haves. These are the things that you must have in order to have a stream with gameplay, audio, and a face cam. That's it. Those three things. Those are the only three things that I'm going to be. These are the three things that you have to have in order to, or these are the things that are essential to a stream, if you will. Because if you stream with a PlayStation, at least in the most basic form, same with Xbox, you will not be on screen. It'll just be your gameplay. So, first thing you're going to need, and this one is obvious, at least I would hope, is a camera. Now, you don't need a $600 mirrorless camera with a $250 lens. You can use your phone with an $8 app. Actually, there's a few different apps, but the one that I would suggest is Epoch Cam from Elgato. It's $8. It allows you to use your phone as an NDI video source in OBS, and then you can, carry it around with you. You could do, if you want shots on your desk, you get shots on your desk. You want to bring it into your kitchen, whatever. It allows you to do something like that. I'm gonna be doing a video soon about using Epoch Cam as a second camera angle. So, with my setup, I have this camera here. I actually do have two cameras, but I'm going to be doing an example of that. Or you could get a webcam. I have a video where I talk about, can you make this $35 webcam from Amazon a workable image? You can check that out here on this channel. I believe that was 3 episodes ago on technical difficulties. So you can check out that's something I need to do. put a link to the technical difficulties playlist in the description in the video. Also, it would probably help if this video was public. I just realized it wasn't public. There we go. That'll probably help as well. The second thing you're going to need is your streaming device / your gaming device. Because if you're doing this on a budget, most of the time you're going to be doing them on the same thing. Whether that's your PlayStation. Oh, actually, I should go back to camera real quick. At least for PlayStation, I haven't tested this on an Xbox, and I don't know because I don't own an Xbox. But you can use the PlayStation camera. I forget what it's called exactly. You can actually use that to give yourself a face cam for your streams. So if you're streaming on a console, now stepping back into streaming device, if you're streaming on a console, you can use, if your console is compatible with, a camera, whether that's the, what is it, Xbox Connect or whatever. I don't even know if that's still a thing. Is Connect still a thing? Let me know in the chat if Connect is still a thing. So you can use a device like that in addition to your console to stream to Twitch. You don't have to spend money on a webcam at all. If you're going to play PC games, you're going to need a PC. If it's a laptop, there are laptops that are actually capable of running some games, not all games, but some games, and streaming at the same time. It's going to be something that's going to take a little bit less, computing power. You're not going to be able to run, Fortnite and Warzone and stream at the same time, but you could probably run something more simple like Minecraft or something less CPU or GPU intensive. That's also going to depend entirely on the specs of the computer. If you have a dedicated what's the other word they use for it? I forget what the other word they use for it is, but if you have a dedicated GPU, so one that is separate from your processor or your motherboard, then that will also change what what a laptop can and can't do. All right. Technically, you could use your phone. All right. The only caveat I will say with, and I did use that word correctly. Most people don't. The only caveat I would give you is that if you're going to use a computer or a laptop, or I should say a desktop or a laptop, they're all computers. Even your phone's a freaking computer. If you're going to use something like that, it's going to require streaming software of some kind. Whether that is you're using Restream.io and using the Restream Studio, or StreamYard, or OBS Studio, or Streamlabs OBS. Doesn't matter. You're gonna need some sort of streaming software if you're using a computer as your streaming device. All right. One quick. I keep going in and out of focus. Okay, I think I'm good in focus here. All right. That's it. Now we're gonna talk about what are the things that, if you're gonna take a step up, what are the things that you are gonna need. All right. One of the things I think most people think that they're going to need is one of the things that I put in second, or in this, what I would call the essentials. So your initial upgrades. These are your first round of upgrades, if you will. That's a microphone. All right. Now, the reason I put microphone in the category of first round of upgrades, or the first things that you should buy once you've decided that streaming is going to be something that a little bit more than just casual for you, the reason I put it in this tier is because if you're just streaming with your console, the audio quality, because of bit rates and things like this, the science that goes into engineering, a broadcast, the audio quality is not going to be great anyway. So it doesn't, it's not going to help you to get a more expensive microphone. Use something like, here it is. Use something like this, you know, PlayStation headset. This will work for running live streams from your PlayStation as far as audio quality is concerned. You don't need to spend $100, $200, you know, however much money that you're spending. You don't need to do that for a stream like that. Okay? And when I say I'm not I don't want it to sound like I'm downgrading or saying that streams like that are lesser than. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just there's a certain amount of quality that you can reach. There's a ceiling for streams like that, and buying a microphone is not is putting your performance level above the ceiling at which your stream can reach. Okay, so let's talk about the different types of microphones. You could get something like this headset. This is a microphone. Not a great microphone, but it's a microphone. That I think I got this for like $20 at Target. I think I either got it at Target or Walmart, one of the two. But it was like $20. It's an option. You can get something like I don't have it over here. Okay, never mind. If you're on your phone, you can use the headphones that come with your phone. You can use AirPods. You can use a mic like this, the mic that I actually suggest to anyone who asks, what microphone should I buy? The Elgato Wave 3. You could get a Blue Yeti. I honestly would not suggest getting a Blue Snowball. At this point, the Snowball is a little bit overpriced for the quality that you get out of it. I would never suggest that. You could get a shotgun mic to put over, you know, on your camera side, away from you, out of frame, so that your audience never sees the microphone. When you're getting into microphones, you then have to also ask yourself, do I want a condenser microphone? Do I want a dynamic microphone? You have to understand the difference between the two and what either or will do for you and do for your broadcast. This is a condenser microphone. The only thing you have to really keep in mind when you're thinking condenser dynamic is condenser is going to pick up more room noise. So if you're not necessarily in a well sound treated room or a room that's got a lot of stuff in it, maybe dynamic is the way to go, because you're not going to pick up room typing or room noise. You're not going to pick up the typing on your keyboard. You're not going to pick up your mouse clicks, all of those different things. But those things can also be kind of filtered out on a condenser mic with processing. So these are all things that you have to think about when you're getting a microphone. Just please don't say, hey, I'm just going to get a cheap microphone. Do a little bit of research. I would love to do a microphone review and give you guys some options, but I couldn't give my personal experience with those microphones. I would be able to tell you what I know based on testing that I've seen, because I only own a few different microphones that I've actually used for broadcasting. The Wave 3 here is one of them. The other one that I have used is the Blue Yeti Pro, which is a USB and XLR microphone. Real quick, just to address what Matt said in the chat. Matt, you used the Rode Pod mic and you didn't like it because no one can hear you. That's because the Rode Pod mic is a dynamic microphone. Now, the thing with dynamic microphones is all dynamic microphones require external power, or what we call phantom power. So if you're only going XLR into your audio interface and your audio interface is XLR connections do not provide phantom power, you are going to sound extremely quiet. So you either need an audio interface that provides phantom power, or you need something that will do the in-between, something called a cloud lifter, that will provide phantom power to the microphone and then pass through to your audio interface. The only problem with that is it adds a little bit of noise to the microphone, like the background hiss and hum that you sometimes hear when people turn their gain way up. You'll get some of that added. Okay, so you had it plugged into Rodecaster Pro, and I do not want to insult your intelligence, but did you have phantom power turned on? And then also, did you go into the Rodecaster Pro software and adjust the gain on the XLR input, not on the fader, because you can actually set the gain to the microphone in the software, and then the fader will adjust with digital gain on top of that. So because I will actually tell you, if you're looking for a budget dynamic microphone, the Rodecaster the Rode Pod Mic is actually one of the best budget dynamic microphones on the market. Like 100%. If someone's like, hey, I've only got $100 to like $150, I want a dynamic microphone. I do not want a condenser microphone because I need, to cut out some of that room noise, and processing is too much for me. The Rode Pod Mic is, 10 out of 10 times, that's what I would suggest. But because of all of those added things that you need, a cloud lifter, if you want to do processing in the most efficient manner, well, actually you can do it in OBS, but if you want something like an audio interface, you would require a Rodecaster Pro, or the Rodecaster, and then you would have to get something like Voicemeeter to give yourself a mixer on your computer, whatever, things like that. But that's why I always suggest the Wave 3, because the Wave 3 basically gives you a Go XLR with a condenser with a USB microphone, in one for $130. So, oh no, Matt, you're great. It does not bother me at all that I kind of went off on a tangent, because it's good knowledge. But we are going to get into the next thing that I would say upgrade. And this is, once you've made your initial investment in a camera, once you've made your initial investment in a microphone, this is the next thing that you should invest in. And I would always tell you that your initial investment in a camera should not be the $600 mirrorless camera with the $250 lens, unless that's going to give you applications outside of just streaming and broadcasting. All right. The reason I started with this camera is because, actually, I didn't even start with this camera. I started with a different camera. Okay. For a second, my YouTube connection said that there was no data coming in. Okay. But the reason I started with the other camera that I use, which is a DSLR. I did not start with a webcam or anything more budget friendly. But the reason is because I was using it for other stuff. I was using it for video projects outside of just streaming and broadcasting. But if you're only using it for streaming and broadcasting, I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you check out my video about the $35 webcam from Amazon, and honestly, pick it up, because you can actually get a pretty decent image out of this webcam. It's $35. And when you upgrade this next thing that I'm talking about, you can make bad cameras look decent to pretty good with good lighting. upgrade your lighting. And you don't have to get expensive $200 Elgato key lights. You don't need that. Elgato key lights, really, honestly, the biggest thing about them is quality of life upgrade. It's not the light that you get from them. The light is great. The light is great, but the lighting that you get with them can 100% be achieved with other lighting sources. So, like, I have 2 Elgato key lights. I've got 2 of them. That's $400 worth of lighting setup. But I can afford it, for 1. And 2, for me, it was about the quality of life upgrade. The ability to turn my lights on and off with a push of the button on my Stream Deck. The ability to control them with my phone. The ability to mount them to my desk and I don't have to break them down and set them up every time I'm about to stream. For me, it was all about a quality of life upgrade. It was not about the actual light and upgrading the light. But there are, and I'm gonna put them in the description below. In my so just to let everyone know, any link that you see in the description is going to be an Amazon affiliate link. Using those links helps the channel. You don't even have to buy the item that it links to. If you click on that link and then add something else to your cart and buy that, it still helps me out. I get a very small commission off anything that's bought using my affiliate links. So if you want a way to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. Another great way to support the channel is by liking the video, sharing it with a friend, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell so that you know the next time that I go live, whether it's for this show, whether it's for Dessert Men Live on Fridays, or even Saturdays, or for anime, the 3rd Saturday of every month. Except this month we're doing the 4th Saturday because the 1st Saturday was the 1st of the month, I think. Or it was in the 1st week of the month or something like that. It was the 5th of the month. But also it's because I'm busy. I'm busy this Saturday, so we had to move it to the 4th Saturday. But that's it for that stuff as well. Also, another way to support the channel, real quick, I guess that's not it. In the Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures, one more thing. So one more thing that will help is when this video is no longer live. If you're watching on the replay, if you're watching live, as soon as I end the broadcast, another way to help is to comment on the video. What I would ask you to drop in the comments today are, what are the things that you feel are essential to your streams if you're streaming? Or if you're not streaming and you're thinking about getting into streaming, what's something that you would like to know more about? What piece of equipment do you want to know? Is it worth it? Do I need it? Is this a good investment? Will I use this as I move up in my production value? Drop those in the comments once this is no longer live, or if you're watching on the replay. I try to answer every single comment. I try. I can't promise it, but I do try. All right, but let's get back into it. The next thing that I think is a essential piece of your upgrades. So once you start upgrading, all right, so I'm gonna assume at this point you've upgraded past the webcam, you're using a DSLR. You're gonna need something to put that camera on, a tripod. Now, the type of tripod that you use is gonna wholly depend on what you're doing with the camera. Is your camera staying in one place? Doesn't move? Get the cheapest, honestly, get the cheapest tripod that you can on Amazon. That's my suggestion. If your tripod stays in one place, you don't need the tripod to move because you're not doing any video projects outside of broadcasting and streaming. It just needs to sit there, be held, and be still. Get the cheapest tripod on Amazon. That's what I would tell you, because you don't need all of the features that are in more expensive tripods. You just need it to hold the camera, and the cheapest tripod on Amazon will do that. If you're looking for something more, if you're using this for video projects outside of broadcasting and streaming, you're using it for photography. Take all of those things into account when you're looking at a tripod. If you're using it for video, you're going to want a tripod with a fluid head, something that moves smoothly. Are you able to do this on cheaper tripods? Yes, but it's very jerky. It's not a smooth movement. If you're using it for photography, maybe you want a tripod with a ball head that articulates to 90 degrees so that you can do portrait photography and not just landscape. Maybe you need a tripod that has adjustable legs so that you can adjust the height. I would say that's a good feature in all tripods, whether you're using it statically or not, but some tripods don't adjust. You could buy tripods for the desk. You can buy something that I have, the Elgato Master Mount, that isn't actually a tripod, but allows me to clamp my camera to the desk and mount it on a ball head so that I have not quite 360 degree in all direction articulation, but pretty dang close. So maybe that's something that you would be interested in with your upgrade to a tripod. Essentially, you just think about, hey, what do I need my tripod to do? And then buy a tripod that fits those specifications. If you just need it to hold the camera, buy the cheapest one on Amazon. It will do you just fine, especially if you're not moving it around. It'll last. But do keep in mind what I always say is that as long as it fits the need, buy cheap. But if you don't buy nice, you buy it twice. So I will say that in most things, not all things, but in most things, you get what you pay for. Okay? So if you want a tripod that's going to last you for, 10 to 15 years, you're using it for video shoots, you're using it for different photography, stuff like that, the cheapest tripod on Amazon, probably not the one you want to go with. You might want to go with something like from the company that I personally use, Manfrotto. Like, I love Manfrotto's tripods. I have one of their Video Go, I believe it's called the Video Go tripods. I also have a more photography oriented tripod from them. I also have one, and I really wish I had more of their heavy like cinema camera tripods, the like heavy duty ones. I've also got one of those. Manfrotto makes great tripods. That's not they're not a sponsor or anything. It's just the tripod brand that I know, that I trust. So if you're looking for my personal recommendation, if you're looking for the best one, especially the like their Go series, I think it's called the Go series. It's all their ones that are a little bit more portable, and they fold up to about, hold on, let me turn my hand so you can actually see. You don't see this, you see this. They're about this big when they're all condensed. So they're easy to like throw in a pack and carry with you, or just slide into your camera bag if you've got one of the side pocket thingies. But yeah, Manfrotto is kind of my go-to when I'm looking, if I was looking for a new tripod. Currently I'm not, because I bought 3 different tripods for 3 different use cases a few years back, and they're still going strong. Now the last thing that I'm gonna put in my essentials category, okay, and this one, you might think that people would just do this, but there are some streamers that, they're only streaming for a few hours, or not even a few hours. They stream for, say, an hour at a time or 2 hours at a time. Most camera batteries will last that long, but I would highly suggest that you go out and you get an evergreen power adapter, or a AC/DC power adapter, or I would suggest search AC/DC power adapter or battery adapter for whatever your camera model is, and pick one of those up. Almost every single camera manufacturer makes one. They're normally expensive though. like in the hundreds of dollars. I picked one up off Amazon. I believe that it was $16, something like that, for my Canon M50. I got one off Amazon. It was super cheap. It's a third-party manufacturer. I've had zero problems with it at all. All right, this is one of those instances where the price doesn't necessarily equate to quality. You just have to do a little bit of research, look into the reviews, make sure there's nothing funky going on in the reviews. Like, I left a review and they sent me a gift card. Companies are not supposed to do that on Amazon, but you'll see it in the reviews. You just got to check it out. Now, the last thing, actually, you know what? Real quick, because I just realized that it's not on. I want to go back to lighting real quick, and I'm gonna unplug it and bring it up since it's not on. So, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm a streamer, I'm a gamer. I need RGB lighting," and they're like, "I want, nano leafs. I want LifeX beams. I want all of this expensive LED stuff." I don't use any of that. I use this that I already happen to have way before streaming because someone bought it for me as a gift, and I'm a huge Chelsea FC fan. So I decided I'm going to use it for motivated lighting. All right. I have a light up there that was expensive. It's an Aperture MX, like tiny floodlight, but I bought that way before I was streaming. I bought that for photo shoots because it's tiny. It also is phone app controlled, and you can load lighting scenes into it, so I can do stuff on photo shoots to create really creative lighting. But the light that impacts my background the most is this light right here. This was, for two of them, $30, I think, on Amazon. And then I covered it in parchment paper because the diffusion isn't great. So I just slapped on a piece of parchment paper. I cut it to fit the output of the light and then just doubled it over. So this, two of them, $30 on Amazon, and that's it. You want some RGB lighting in your background? Here you go, for cheap. And now I'll plug it in and show you what it looks like and how it changes the background. So it's plugged in now. You're mostly going to see it over here because that's where I've got the light pointed. But that's my $35. That's one of them. That's one $35 RGB floodlight from Amazon. You don't need expensive RGB lights. Don't do that. You don't need Elgato key lights. There are $50 softbox kits on Amazon that you can buy and set up, and they will give you the exact same lighting as these key lights that were $200. You do not need any of this stuff to stream. That's the biggest thing that I want to get out there is you don't need any of this stuff. All you need is the desire to stream and something to send your information to the streaming platform. That's it. That is all you need to start streaming. All the rest of it is superfluous. The thing that is going to keep people around your streams and on your shows is going to be you. That's what's going to keep people around. That's what's going to get you new viewers. You. So you need to invest in you. Don't worry about the equipment. The equipment will come as your viewership increases, as your desire to do things, the ceiling of yourself and your creativity increases. That's when you bring in all of that extra stuff. The reason I had a lot of this stuff when I started is because I was already using it for other stuff. When I started, I did not have two Elgato key lights. What I had were my two 600 or 660 panel Favatech LED light panels. That's what I had. I had them set up in here. I would have to break them down after every single stream because the footprint on those things is humongous. And that's the main reason. And they're also, while they don't get as hot as like a halogen bulb would, they do still get hot. And it was very hot underneath them. So that's why I made the switch to the Elgato key lights. Like I said, it's 100%. It was a quality of life upgrade, which is the things that I want to talk about now. Quality of life upgrades. For me, quality of life upgrades would include things like headphones, right? If you're going to get expensive headphones, that's a quality of life upgrade. You don't need Astros if you're just, you know, chilling, playing games on your living room couch, not streaming to anyone. You don't need Astros. I mean, honestly, you don't need Astros if you're just streaming for fun. Those are like, that's competitive gaming stuff. Like, you don't need expensive headphones. Another quality of life upgrade, the Elgato Stream Deck. This is one of this. I swear by this thing. I swear, I love it. I use it for everything. This is a quality of life upgrade. You can do everything I do with this with the keyboard you already have, as well as a cheap $15 blank keypad that you can buy on Amazon. You do not need an Elgato Stream Deck. You can also use something like Leon board or Deck board or Touch Portal. I have an entire video about how to set up macros and the programs that you can use to run macros, which is essentially what the Stream Deck does. And I showed you how to set them up with the Stream Deck software because that's what I have. But I also gave you a bunch of free options if you're on a budget. And it essentially works the exact same way. And I know Touch Portal, Deck board, and I believe Leon board as well, you can get on your phone as an app. So you can set your phone in front of you while you're streaming and use your phone to control your stream. There's also another program that or a plugin. Oh no, it's a program actually, because it's an app that I'm gonna be doing a video on soon called OBS Blade that kind of does the same thing, but not exactly. Another quality of life upgrade that I would, or things that I would say is a quality of life upgrade, is multiple monitors. You don't need multiple monitors to stream. Unless you need to like have OBS like in the forefront at all times, which honestly you don't. And you need your chat in front of you at all times, which if you need that, you got a phone. If you're not using it as a camera, you can bring your Twitch chat up on your phone. You don't need multiple monitors. You just need the one, or your TV, or whatever you're using to play your game on. That's it. Again, I have multiple monitors. One, because I already had them, but two, well, actually, I had two of them. The third one was given to me by my employer. That because in order to run one of the shows that I run, I need 3 monitors. I actually can't do that because of all of the information that I need to see, and I need to have also on screen for everyone else participating in the show. I need a third monitor that I can project a full screen view of my program view onto so that they can see it. But that's kind of getting off on a tangent. Again, quality of life upgrade. A super powered computer. Quality of life upgrade. This computer is not necessary to stream. I could stream on the laptop that I have across the room if I wanted to. I don't need this. I have this again because I use it for other things. I use it for video editing. I use it for some audio stuff. I use it for creating animations and doing some work in After Effects. That's the actual reason I have this PC. It is not because I use it for streaming. I just happen to also use it for streaming. So think about all of these things when you're setting your initial budget, as you're getting started. Please, please, please take it into account, because the thing that I would hate to see, and the thing that I know is very frustrating for a lot of people and a lot of streamers, is they spend all this money at the beginning. They make this huge initial investment. They stream for a month and they hate it. And then they stop. And now they have all this stuff that they spent all this money on that they don't use. And that's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for other people right now that are trying to get that same equipment and right now is in vast production shortages. It's just no good for anyone. So take it into account. Very much so. What I would suggest is stream first on a budget. Like, set a very small budget. Stream for a month, even 2. See if you even enjoy it before you invest that much money into it. Don't just say, hey, I saw Dwayne on Twitch and he was getting all these tips and he was making all this money and I want to do that. And don't understand all of the work that goes into the back end, the stuff that you don't see, the creation of thumbnails, the learning of video editing, the testing of products that I do, the money that I've spent on things so that I can say, hey guys, don't buy this because it sucks. I've got a whole closet full of products that I just haven't talked about yet, because I haven't quite figured out how I want to do tech review stuff on this channel. But some of it is stuff that I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure I eventually tell people, don't buy this. Not that I think a lot of people are buying it, but if you've got someone new coming in, it's something that I think would catch their eye and they might buy it, and I want to avoid that. But that's gonna be it for yeah, exactly, Raul. So many people, and I want to give a shout out to our friend Rachel. They were the inspiration for this video because they were at Guitar Center and someone asked them, what do I need to start a podcast? And they were trying to buy all this stuff to start a podcast. And we both have the same answer. You don't need any of it. If you want to start a podcast, get your phone, get some headphones, record yourself. That's how you start a podcast. You don't spend money, you just do it. And then once you either achieve a little bit of success, you get some money coming in, or you've decided, I like this and I want to invest in myself and in this, that's when you start spending money. And that's when you start looking into the best cameras, the best microphones, the best audio interfaces, all of those different things that eventually make up to it. And then you look at what the best ones are, you look at your price range, and you look at, can I afford the top line? No, but I can afford the mid. But if I buy the mid, I won't have money for, X microphone. So you take a step down and you balance it all out and you stay within your means. Because if you're not making a lot of money, which, as Raul can tell you, and just about any creator here on YouTube or creator on Twitch or anyone that's kind of been doing this can tell you, you're not going to make money at the beginning. You're going to lose a lot of money at the beginning. In fact, I'm still losing money. I'm not saying that because people aren't supporting me. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is the amount of money that I've invested in, software to do things, in equipment, not just for broadcasting and streaming, because my business is more than just broadcasting and streaming, but the money that I've invested in equipment over the past year and a half ish, I'm still losing money. That's it. So don't focus on the money coming in, and because you have to go into this with your eyes wide open and understand that that's not what this is about. If that's all you care about, I'm gonna stop you right here. Stop. Don't do it, because you're gonna hate it after the first week. You're gonna hate it after the first 2 weeks. You have to actually like this, want to do it, and want to invest so that you see a return on the investment. If you're not willing to invest, you're not going to grow, and you won't see the end result that you desire. All right, but I got to get off my soapbox, because that's not what this video is about. This video is about the things that you actually, well, I mean, I guess technically it is about. This is what this video is about, because it's about the things that you really need to start streaming. And maybe I should have led with that, or at the top of the video said, hey, I'll tell you at the end of the show what my number one thing that you need to start streaming is. And the number one thing you need to start streaming is the desire to stream. That's it. That's the number one thing you need. The number one thing you need is the desire to stream. If you don't have the desire to stream, and if you don't enjoy streaming, then don't stream. If you're just doing it for the money, don't do it, because you're not going to succeed, and you're not going to get what you want out of streaming. But thank you everyone so much for joining. Thank you for Reef in the chat, Matt in the chat, Raul in the chat, and Gail. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Please correct me either in the chat or in the comments, please, because I don't like getting people's names wrong. I hate when people get my name wrong. So if I get it wrong, please correct me. Dude, Matt, that's awesome. You got 2 episodes down. You just keep going. Just keep doing it. If you're enjoying it, keep doing it. I'm never gonna tell someone to grind, because grinding is pointless and it makes you unhappy. So if you're enjoying it, keep doing it. Send me a link, like at me on Twitter and send me a link so I can check it out. I don't know if they're out already. If they're not out, don't send me a link, because it's not out yet. But if it is out, send me a link so I can check it out. Yes, as Raul likes to call it, thank you so much for coming to the Berkmaid School of Broadcast. I am going to be starting something soon for my Patreon. Immediately following this, it's going to be going live on my Patreon. For $25, I'm going to be doing an early bird special for my my OBS masterclass that is going to start in July. I'm working on it now. That's the thing that I'm spending almost every waking hour working on right now. I'm working on an OBS masterclass that is going to be able to, you are going to be able to watch it, follow along, and from top to bottom, front to back, I'm going into every single bit of detail I think you need to know to learn how to set up and configure OBS. So I'm going to be launching the early bird special for the next 2 weeks. It'll be available for $25 a month on my Patreon for the entirety of the course. The first day of the course, I'm going to close that Patreon tier. And then it's going to be $35 a month if you want to join after that. And then I'm also going to be offering at my $50 tier, I'm going to be offering office hours, where once a week I will hop on a call with you and anyone else at that tier, and we will sort out your problems with OBS. We'll go through the lesson for the week. If you've got questions, you can ask me. If you've got something in your specific setup that's not working, you can ask me. Because the one thing I don't have enough time to do, and I wish I did, I don't have enough time to answer every single individual person's questions about their setup. Because You ask me one question, I've got to ask you 10 in order to get a fix. So that's what's going on my Patreon. Please, if that's something that is of interest to you, check it out. If you know someone that could use it, send them the link. Patreon.com/Burkmade. Suggest it to them. Like, you guys have seen what I do on my own streams. You guys have seen what I do on the FCL. You know I know what I'm talking about. You know I know how to do. Like, OBS is something that I know how to do incredibly well, and I want you to be as good at it as I am, or at least understand it as well as I do if you don't care to do all of the fancy stuff that I do. You can always also find me on Twitter at Burkmade. You can find me here every Wednesday. Twitch, right now it's looking like Monday, Tuesdays, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays on Twitch. The length of streams depends, but you can find the schedule on my Twitch channel under the schedule tab. And you can find me here again on YouTube on Wednesdays for technical difficulties, Fridays with Aiden Cossack for Dessert Men Live, and the third Saturday of most months, not every month, this month it's the fourth Saturday, at 2:30 for Saturdays are for anime with my entire panel of hosts. For that, we get real weeby, real fast, where we talk about a season of a different anime every month. The show's a lot of fun and it's one of my favorites. And then you can also check out the FCL on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Schmodown. It's the show that I do that is the most production heavy, and you can see what I'm talking about when you watch it, all of the different things that we are doing live on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/The Schmodown for the First Class League. It's movie trivia with a storyline bend. Check it out if that's something that interests you. And if you only care about the production value, check it out for the production value as well, because what we're doing over there, like, I didn't know how we were going to do it at first, but I'm so glad that I got tasked with making this vision come to life, and I'm really proud of it. So please, if you can, check it out. It would mean the world to me. But until next time, I'm just going to tell you guys, because I don't have the perfect sign off yet, but if you're podcasting, if you're streaming, however you're broadcasting, all I would say is stream on.